Welcome back to Tales of the Dark. This time, we have 5 true mountain horror stories. Don't watch this if you've ever gone deep into the mountains, especially alone, because some places up there were never meant to be found again. Story 1. The Restoration Cabin. I took the job because no one else wanted it. Remote location, deep in the mountains, an old cabin scheduled for restoration. The kind of place people forgot existed. The kind of place that shouldn't still be standing, but it was, barely. The company hired me to stay there for a week, check the structure, prepare it for the restoration team. Simple work, good pay, no one around for miles. At least that's what they told me. The drive up took hours, no signal, no other cars. Just a narrow road cutting through endless forest. The higher I went, the quieter it became. No birds, no wind, just silence, heavy, unnatural. The cabin finally came into view near sunset, small, weathered, leaning slightly to one side, like it had been waiting too long. The door was closed. Locked just like they said. I unlocked it, stepped inside. The air was cold, not just temperature, something else. Like the place hadn't been opened in years but wasn't empty. Furniture still there, dust covering everything, but not evenly. Some areas cleaner than others, like something had been moving around. Recently, my chest tightened slightly. Just animals. I said it out loud to make it feel normal, to make it make sense. I dropped my bag, walked through the cabin, checked each room. Everything seemed fine until I reached the back room. The door was slightly open, just a crack. I stopped because I was sure all the doors were closed when I entered. I pushed it open, slowly. Inside there was nothing, just an empty room, no furniture, no windows, just wooden walls, and something carved into the floor, marks, deep, repeated, like someone had scratched the same pattern. Over and over again, circles, connected, not random, intentional. My chest tightened. What is that? No answer. Of course not. I stepped back, closed the door, didn't want to think about it, didn't need to. The sun was already going down, darkness creeping in fast. Mountains don't give you time to adjust. It just gets dark, quick, sudden. I locked the door, sat down, tried to relax, tried to ignore the feeling that I wasn't alone. Hours passed, nothing happened, no sounds, no movement, just silence until midnight. That's when I heard it, a knock. Soft from inside the cabin, not at the door, not outside, inside. My breathing stopped. Hello, silence, then another knock, closer from the back room, the one I had just closed. My chest tightened because I knew I hadn't left anything in there, nothing that could move. Nothing that could make that sound. The knock came again, slower, heavier, like something was hitting the floor from underneath. I stood up slowly, every instinct telling me not to move, not to check, but I did, step by step, toward the back room. The door was still closed. Exactly how I left it, but the sound was still coming from inside. Knock, knock, knock. My hand reached for the handle, shaking. Just open it, I whispered. I turned the handle, pushed the door open, and the sound stopped instantly. The room was empty, exactly the same. The marks on the floor, nothing else. No movement, no explanation. I stepped inside, slowly, carefully, and that's when I noticed something new. The marks, they weren't just scratches, they were deeper now, fresh, like something had been carving them while I was outside the room. My chest tightened painfully, because that meant something had been inside, recently, and then I heard it right behind me, a whisper, close, too close. You're early. Some tracks show where something went. Some trails show where something came from. But in the mountains, sometimes you only see where it's standing. Story 2. Footprints that don't lead anywhere. I turned around instantly. Nothing there, just the empty doorway, the hallway, the same cabin, silent, but I felt it. Something had been right behind me, close enough to whisper. My chest tightened. Who's there? No response. Just that same heavy silence pressing in from every side. I backed out of the room, didn't take my eyes off it. Slowly closed the door. This time I locked it. I don't know why. A simple lock wouldn't stop anything, not up there, not in a place like that. But I did it anyway. Something about that room felt wrong. Like it didn't belong to the rest of the cabin, like it had its own purpose. I stepped back into the main room, grabbed my jacket. I need some air, even though I knew. Stepping outside at night in the mountains wasn't safe, but staying inside felt worse. I opened the front door. Cold air hit instantly, sharp, clean, real, the kind of cold that reminds you you're still alive. I stepped out, closed the door behind me. The forest stretched endlessly in every direction. Dark, still, no wind, no sound, just snow covering everything, fresh, undisturbed. My breathing slowed slightly. "Okay," I whispered, trying to ground myself, trying to make sense of what just happened. But then I saw them, footprints in the snow. Right in front of the cabin. My chest tightened because they weren't mine. I hadn't been outside yet, and these were already there, leading away from the cabin, into the trees, deep into the forest. I stared at them, trying to understand, trying to explain, maybe from earlier. But that didn't make sense. The snow was fresh. It had started after I arrived. These prints were new. My breathing became uneven because something felt wrong, not just that they were there, the way they looked, too perfect, too clean, like something had placed them there instead of walking. I stepped closer, slowly, carefully, and that's when I noticed it. They only went one way, away from the cabin. No prints leading back, no signs of someone arriving, just a trail starting at the cabin and disappearing into the trees. My chest tightened because that meant whatever made them hadn't come from the forest, it had come from inside, behind me. The cabin door creaked slightly. I froze, didn't turn around, didn't move because I knew I hadn't left it open. Slowly, I looked over my shoulder. The door was still closed, but something felt off. Like it wasn't the same, like it had been touched. The footprints in front of me shifted, just slightly. My heart stopped because I hadn't moved, and they hadn't been there before. A new print, fresh, forming right in front of me, pressing into the snow on its own. My breathing stopped completely. Another one appeared, further ahead, then another, leading away, one by one, like something invisible was walking into the forest. Right now, right in front of me, I stumbled back. No, because I understood something then. I wasn't looking at old tracks. I was watching them happen. The last footprint pressed into the snow. Deep, clear, then stopped right at the edge of the trees. The forest stood silent. Waiting, watching, my chest tightened painfully because something told me it wasn't gone, it had just stopped moving. The radio on my belt crackled suddenly. I jumped, grabbed it. Hello, static, then a voice, faint, distorted. Don't follow it, my grip tightened. Who is this? Silence, then, it doesn't like being watched. The line went dead. My breathing became uneven. Because I hadn't planned to follow it, but now something inside me wanted to. The forest ahead felt deeper, darker, like it was pulling me in, calling me. The footprints waited, perfectly still, leading into the trees. And behind me, the cabin door creaked again, slow, opening just slightly. Some things stay outside, some things follow you, and some things don't need to follow at all because they were already inside. Story 3, it came back inside. I didn't follow the footprints. I wanted to, something about them pulled at me. Like I needed to know where they led, but the voice on the radio stopped me. Don't follow it, so I didn't. I stepped back, slowly, away from the trees, away from the trail, toward the cabin. The door was still slightly open, exactly how I left it. But something felt wrong, different, like the space inside had changed, like something had shifted while I was outside. My chest tightened because I knew I hadn't left it like that. I reached the door, pushed it open slowly. The cabin was dark, darker than before, the air colder, heavier. Like stepping into a place that was already occupied. I stepped inside, closed the door behind me, locked it, not because it would help, but because it felt like I had to. The silence inside was deeper now, pressing in, almost loud. I turned on my flashlight. The beam cut through the darkness, shaking slightly in my hand. Everything looked the same, the table, the chair, my bag, nothing moved, nothing out of place, but I felt it, something wasn't right, something was different. I moved slowly through the main room, scanning every corner, every shadow, nothing. Completely empty. It's fine, I whispered, trying to convince myself, trying to make it normal again. Then I saw it, the floor near the entrance. My breathing stopped because there were footprints. Wet, dark, not snow, something else, leading inside. My chest tightened instantly because I hadn't brought anything in. I had wiped my boots, and these weren't mine. They were fresh, still forming, slowly spreading across the wood, like something had just walked in right before me, or while I wasn't looking. My grip tightened on the flashlight. No, I followed them against every instinct, step by step. Deeper into the cabin, the prints didn't go to the front, didn't stop. They led toward the back room, the one I had locked. My chest tightened painfully, because I knew that door hadn't been opened. It couldn't have been. I reached it. The lock was still in place. Exactly how I left it, but the footprints stopped right at the door, not turning, not leaving, just ending, like whatever made them had gone through it without opening it. My breathing became uneven. That's not possible, but it was right there. I could see it. The evidence, the impossible. The radio crackled suddenly, loud, sharp. I grabbed it instantly. Hello, static, then the same voice, calm, faint. It doesn't stay outside. My heart dropped. What? Silence. Then it never did. The line went dead. I stared at the door, my hand shaking, because I knew. Something was on the other side, something that had just walked in, something that had come from the forest or maybe had always been here. The wood creaked, soft, slow, from inside the room, not the cabin, inside the room, the one I locked. My breathing stopped. Because whatever was in there was moving, I stepped back, one step, then another. But the sound followed, not footsteps, something else. Dragging across the floor, heavy, deliberate, like it was circling, like it knew I was standing right outside. The door handle moved, slightly, my chest tightened. Because no one was touching it, but it moved anyway. The lock clicked, soft, then stopped. The handle turned again, this time a little more, like something was testing it, trying to understand it. Learning, my breathing became shallow, because I realized something then. It wasn't trying to break the door, it was trying to open it, the same way I would. The radio whispered one last thing, don't let it see you first. My chest tightened, because I didn't know what that meant, not yet, but I was about to. The handle stopped moving, silence returned, heavy, waiting, then a soft knock from inside the room right at the door, exactly where I was standing. Some things don't chase you, they don't attack, they don't need to, sometimes they just watch and learn. Story 4, it learned how to be me. I stepped back from the door, slowly, quietly, every instinct telling me don't stand there, don't be the first thing it sees. The knock came again, soft, precise, exactly where my chest had been moments before. Like it knew where I was standing, like it could feel it. My breathing became shallow. I moved to the side of the hallway, pressed myself against the wall, out of direct view of the door. The radio's last words echoed in my head. Don't let it see you first. I didn't understand it fully, but I followed it. The cabin went completely silent, no wind, no movement, just that door and whatever was behind it, waiting. Then the handle turned, slow, controlled, not testing anymore, not learning. It knew now. The lock clicked open, without force, without resistance. The door creaked, opening inward, slowly, deliberately. I didn't move, didn't breathe, didn't make a sound. The darkness inside the room spilled out, thicker than it should be, like it wasn't just the absence of light but something else, something deeper. The door opened fully, and for a moment, nothing came out, no movement, no sound, just an open doorway, empty but not empty. I could feel it right there at the edge, waiting. Then something shifted inside the darkness. A shape, low at first, then rising slowly, unnaturally, like it was building itself piece by piece. My chest tightened painfully, because I couldn't see it clearly, not fully, but I knew it wasn't human, not yet. It stepped forward out of the room, into the hallway. The floor creaked beneath it, heavy, real, too real, and that's when I noticed the way it moved, not random. Not animal, familiar. It took a step, then paused like it was remembering, then took another, matching a rhythm, a pattern. My stomach dropped because it wasn't just walking, it was repeating, copying, the way I had moved through the cabin earlier, the way I stepped, the way I shifted my weight, the way I existed. My breathing stopped because it wasn't learning anymore, it already had. The figure stopped in the center of the hallway, tilted its head slightly, listening, sensing, looking for me. My chest tightened because I understood then, if it saw me, it would complete something I didn't want to understand. The radio crackled, so suddenly, so loud I almost dropped it, but I didn't move, didn't react, because the figure didn't either. It just stood there, listening. The voice came through, calm, familiar. It needs you to finish. My heart dropped. Finish what? No response. Then the replacement. My breathing stopped completely because everything made sense at once. The footprints, the room, the marks on the floor, the whisper, it wasn't random, it was a process, and I was part of it. The figure took another step. Closer to where I stood, my body froze because I knew it could feel me, even if it couldn't see me yet. The air shifted, colder, heavier, like something was closing in. The figure lifted its head slightly, facing my direction, not directly, but close, too close. My breathing became uneven, because I realized something worse. It didn't need to see me. It already knew where I was. It took one more step, stopping just inches from the corner, from where I was hiding. The silence became unbearable. Then it spoke, soft, broken, but clear enough. "You're late." My chest tightened violently, because it sounded like me, not exactly, but close enough, like something trying to recreate my voice without fully understanding it. The figure leaned slightly, just enough to see around the corner, and the moment it did, everything stopped, my breathing, my thoughts. Time itself, because it wasn't looking at me, it was looking through me, like I wasn't fully there anymore, like I had already started fading. The radio whispered one final time, "You stayed too long." The figure smiled, not human, not right, but certain, complete, and I knew. Whatever happened next, there was no stopping it. Some places don't take you all at once. They don't drag you away. They don't need to. They just replace you and keep what's left behind. Story 5, the cabin keeps the original. It stepped closer, not fast, not aggressive. Just certain, like it already knew how this ends. My body wouldn't move, wouldn't respond, like something had already taken control or like I had already given it up. The figure stood right in front of me, close enough to touch, close enough to feel. Cold, empty, wrong. My chest tightened. "What are you?" It didn't answer, didn't need to, because I could see it now more clearly. Its shape wasn't stable, edges shifting slightly, like it was still forming, still becoming. And the more I looked, the more familiar it became. The same height, the same build. The same posture, my breathing stopped because I understood. It wasn't copying me anymore, it was replacing me. The radio crackled one last time. "Don't let it finish." My grip tightened. How? But the voice was gone, cut off, silence again, too late. The figure raised its hand. Slowly, mirroring something I had done before, something I didn't even remember doing. My chest tightened painfully because I couldn't move, couldn't stop it. The hand touched my chest, and everything changed, not pain, not force, something deeper, like something inside me was being pulled out or copied or taken. The cabin around me flickered, shifted. For a moment, I wasn't in the hallway anymore. I was outside, standing in the snow, looking at the cabin, watching. The door was open, and inside I saw myself, standing there, frozen, as something else stood in front of me. The perspective snapped back, but it didn't feel the same. Nothing did. The figure stepped past me toward the main room, toward the chair, toward the life I had just been living, and sat down, naturally, perfectly, like it belonged there. The radio crackled again, but this time. "Not for me." "Status check." The figure picked it up, answered calmly. "On site, all clear." My voice perfect. Identical. My chest went cold because I couldn't feel anything anymore. Not the floor, not the air, not myself. I looked down. My hands weren't right. Edges wrong. Shape unstable. Like something unfinished. Incomplete. The cabin felt distant now, far away, like I wasn't inside it anymore, like I was somewhere else. Outside, in the snow, with the footprints, with the silence, I turned slowly. The forest stood in front of me, dark, endless, waiting, and then I saw them. More footprints forming, one by one, leading away from the cabin, into the trees, the same way as before, the same pattern, the same path. My chest tightened, because I understood now. Those footprints, they weren't something entering. They were something leaving, every time, the real one, the original. Sent out into the forest, while something else took their place. The cabin wasn't haunted, it wasn't cursed, it was a system, a process, a loop. Someone arrives, something learns, something replaces, and the original is sent away, forgotten, left to walk into the mountains, alone, forever. The radio echoed faintly from inside the cabin. "Next shift arrives tomorrow." My chest tightened one last time because I realized it wasn't over. It never ends. The door would open again, someone else would arrive. Another person thinking it was just a job, just a cabin. Just a week in the mountains, and I would still be here, watching, waiting. as the footprints carried me deeper into the forest, further away from myself, further away from anything real, until there was nothing left but the path and the silence. If you are new here, subscribe to Tales of the Dark, where every story gives you a nightmare.